This episode of the Demonic Compendium contains spoilers for the following games. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to a divine new episode of the Demonic Compendium, the show where I discuss the mythology, design, and game history of your favorite Megami Tensei demons. Around the holidays, many people seek comfort in their religious beliefs or overplayed holiday movies, so grab that mistletoe and put on It's a Wonderful Life, because today, we're talking about Angel. Now, before we get started, it's best to acknowledge that angel is such a broad term that covers so many different figures in so many different religions. So let's boil this down to what I'm specifically talking about when I say angel. In several religions, such as Judaism, Islam, or Christianity, celestial beings such as angels exist in a hierarchy. But the one we'll be talking about today, since it's the one Megaten generally follows, is the Christian ranking. First assembled in the book On the Celestial Hierarchy, composed by Christian theologist Pseudo-Dionysius in the 4th or 5th century. According to Dionysius, there are 3 major orders of angels ranking from high to low, with each of these orders having 3 different classes of angels within them, coming to a total of 9. At the very bottom of these orders is the 9th class known simply as angels, which derive their name from the Latin word angelus, meaning messenger. Which is pretty fitting, since that's generally how these low-ranking angels are seen. When you hear stories about angels that interact directly with humans, whether by delivering a message or watching over us like some sort of guardian angel, it's typically these low-ranking messengers, which are sometimes referred to as watchers or emissaries. Angels are often described as looking much more human than the higher-ranking orders, whose designs are often described as if they were a Lovecraftian horror. And the reason why these angels are the ones that are most often said to appear before humans is because communicating with humanity is kind of seen as heavenly grunt work. Somebody up there has to do it, and being at the bottom of the totem pole, often described as being the servants of God, they're not really in a position to argue with the higher-ups. The Bible has several different texts and passages that refer to angels following God's orders, but I'd like to read a short passage from chapter 103 of Psalms. Praise the Lord, you his angels, you mighty ones who do his bidding, who obey his word. Praise the Lord, all his heavenly hosts, you his servants who do his will. So, yeah, they're generally depicted as pretty eager to serve God. Angel's Compendium entry from Shin Megami Tensei Liberation D2 refers to them as 9th of the 9 orders of angels. They are closest in nature to humans. The word angel means emissary in Hebrew, and it is said that there are twice as many of them as there are humans. They watch over individuals and warn those who stray from the path. Design-wise, the original angels introduced in early Megami Tensei titles are pretty close to what we tend to think of when we think of angels. A beautiful, stoic woman in a dignified pose, adorned in a bright robe, and with feathery wings that... Come on! You all don't want to hear about this angel, do you? We're all here for this one. The sexy blonde with tight black straps just barely covering that heavenly body. The one sprawled out like a lingerie model with the blindfold and chains. She kinda looks like a good little bondage slave, doesn't she? Well, that's because that's exactly what she is. Kaneko really took the whole low-ranking servant thing to heart when he designed this version of Angel. He's even specified that the chain coming from her collar is probably being held by a higher-ranking angel like a throne or dominion. A personal detail that I really like about this angel is the eyeball pattern on her mask, as it fits into her role as a watcher of humanity. The crazier thing is, for how iconic this leather-clad lass is, this is arguably the censored version, as the prior version of this design from Devil Summoner wore teal leather that barely covered her breasts and didn't even wear any bottoms at all. There was also a similar angel that wore white in Shin Megami Tensei Imagine, known as the Holy Night Angel, which was specifically tied to a holiday event. I know we live in a world where everyone argues censorship is bad, but I'm gonna confess, I like the woman in black a lot more. At the end of the day, yeah, this angel is all about that BDSM lifestyle. Except the B stands for Bible. No kink shaming. Oh yeah, there's also a super cutesy Demi-Kids version covered in hearts. And interestingly enough, it's one of the only depictions in Megaten to actually have a halo. As far as game history goes, angels are typically right where their mythology would have you assume. They generally appear as the lowest ranking demons of the Divine class, or the lowest level personas of the Justice Arcana, with most of the other classes and orders above them. In fact, their relationship with angels that rank above them is one of the most recurring parts of their game history. Nearly every game that has demon conversations has angels speaking with a being above her. In Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, all 4 of the major archangels will speak with her. In Raito Kuzunoha vs. King Abaddon, high-ranking beings like Metatron or even Lucifer himself will speak to the angels. And in Persona 1, Eriko's personas will chat with the angels, which is pretty fitting since her initial persona, Nike, was the Greek goddess that the Christian myth supposedly took the depiction of angels from. The point is, these god-serving gimps are usually pretty quick to chat with their masters. But of course, they only speak when spoken to. As such, angels' roles tend to be pretty small parts, but there have definitely been some interesting ones. For starters, while often being depicted as a weaker being, in a couple of games, incredibly powerful, high-level angels do exist. In Shin Megami Tensei IV Apocalypse, the game actually uses both versions of the newer angel, with the teal-clad one being only level 10, and the Lady in Black being the highest level Divine Race Demon at level 82. The low-level angel shows up pretty early in the game as one of the first boss fights Nanashi and Asahi have to deal with at the Sky Tower. A very odd but interesting thing about Angel regarding Shin Megami Tensei IV Apocalypse is that while it completely contradicts the events in the game, one of the trailers for this title had Angel depicted as the demon that attacked Nanashi and nearly killed him, leading him to team up with Dagda, and the two take the angel down. Completely inaccurate to the story, but it was a pretty good trailer. Speaking of angels and death, they play a major role as the primary figure seen in the Game Over screen in Nocturne. And trust me, it was not difficult to get this particular footage. Angel has had a couple of roles in the Persona series as well. In Persona 3, if teamed up with an Archangel, that is the one rank above her Archangel, not one of the 4 highest ranking Archangels, Makoto will be able to use the fusion spell, Justice, which casts light-based magic to lower all enemies' HP by 50%. In Persona 5, the shadow versions of angels are known as the Zealous Messenger, and while they themselves aren't anything too special, the idea of super powerful angels comes back near the end of the game, when the archangels like Uriel and Michael have a pair of angels by their side. Another boss battle that has an angel by his side is Garen Kuzunoha the 18th in Raito Kuzunoha vs. King Abaddon. Angel is one of his weaker demons, but it can provide him with some much needed support. This game is also currently the only title to use a 3D model of the more classic angel design from the earlier SMT games, though the Devil Survivor games also use this design. In the Virtual Boy title, Jack Bros, Angel is a unique enemy that first shows up in the Mecha Fortress, and attacks the Jack Brothers from off-screen. The only way to defeat them is to hit their projectiles back at them. And perhaps the most recent noteworthy appearance is the special limited time only event in D2 Shin Megami Tensei Liberation, Light of Divine Judgment. The Liberators find themselves caught in the middle of a battle between angels and demons, and when Eileen falls head over heels for an angel, because of course she does, it leads to the gang being recruited to fight for the Archangels in the upcoming war. Angel ends up sacrificing herself in order to send the Liberators to meet the Archangels. Angels cover a broad spectrum of beings throughout many religions, and have meanings that apply to hundreds of beings, but it's always easy to remember those bottom of the totem pole angels who do a great job doing what they're told. And so there you have it, Angel, the sadomasochistic submissive celestial who serves the Seraphs and sees to Sandalphon. Did I leave out something you thought was important? Was I just plain wrong about something? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to let me know who you'd like to see me talk about in future episodes. That's going to do it for this episode of the Demonic Compendium, and I'll see you next time. But be careful while you rest that a demon doesn't take over your body.